And I'll do that over and over again. It just allows me to work the gun, allows me to work my trigger squeeze, allows me to work my sight picture, allows me to work the tap rack as well. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This video comes by request of shout out to Steven Rigby, who asked me to do a dry fire training video, how to dry fire safely. Dry fire is one of the most valuable tools that you can utilize to train yourself. You can become a really good shooter if you utilize dry fire training. So today I'm going to talk about how I dry fire, which is most of the time at my home, how to do that safely, and some of the drills that I run so that some of you new shooters may be able to utilize this content and become a better shooter. So first and foremost, safety, right? I always make sure that I have no live rounds anywhere near where I am working the dry fire training at. So if I'm utilizing magazines, then I make sure that the magazines are empty. And then of course, when I clear my weapon, I always cycle twice. Okay. Then I lock the slide back. I do a visual inspection. I look in, look down the barrel, look down the mag well. I look away and I return my sight to the barrel and the mag well, just to make sure 100% that there is not a round or a magazine with a round in it in this gun. So I have seen negligent discharges. I actually know a buddy of mine who's a police officer who was doing dry fire training, and he had live rounds in his workspace, and he actually put a live round and blew out his light socket. So it can happen. So just keep all live rounds away from your workspace. That is number one. Now, granted, considering you have some training around grip and stance, we'll just talk about dry fire training itself. What I like to do personally is work a lot of trigger control work. Trigger squeeze is a smooth trigger squeeze will make you a really, really smooth shooter. So what I'll do is I'll usually just tape something on the wall, or I will just utilize a light switch. Of course, consider, the safety behind that as well, like what potentially could be on the other side of that wall if I did make a mistake and actually send a live round off. So something to consider there as well. Again, you should be able to completely control the safety of dry fire training pretty easily as long as you use your intelligence. Well, what I'll do is I'll just draw, come out, and then I'll just dry fire, slow squeeze to make sure that nothing in the gun changes, nothing in the sight picture changes at all as I squeeze the trigger. I'll tap and rack, reset the trigger, and I can do that multiple times. Okay, just as a simple dry fire training drill. Okay, you're gonna have to reset the trigger every time it goes click. It's also a drill that I like to do because it creates muscle memory, that when I hear the audible click and I feel the lack of response in the gun when the gun goes click, it automatically cues me to do a failure drill, which is like a tap rack, to either put a new round in or seed the magazine that's maybe not seated properly. So I'll do that several times, draw, and it allows me to work my draw really good as well. Okay, and I'll do that over and over again. It just allows me to work the gun, allows me to work my trigger squeeze, allows me to work my sight picture, allows me to work the tap rack as well. It's a great drill. So you can do that over and over at home and get a lot of reps in. Another one I like to do, again, make sure the magazine is empty. I like to throw a magazine in there. Now when I do a tap rack, the gun is going to lock back, the slide is going to lock back, which is going to force me to do a reload. So it allows me to do a drill where I actually have to do a reload in the middle of the drill as well. So that looks something like here, boom, tap rack, it locks back. Okay, I have to do a reload, and then I can reset that drill up again. Grab my magazine, draw, shoot, tap rack. Okay, I know it's locked back. I do a reload, and it's a pretty good drill to run as well. That's, again, if you're running like a belt like this, or if you're running, outside the waistband. This is what I used when I was on the SWAT team. I still utilize it when I do shooting competitions and stuff. Some people like to make fun of me for it. I don't really care. I don't want to buy new stuff. I have good stuff here. So you can do the same drill with an outside the waistband holster, or even you can do your inside the waistband drills as well, where you're clearing your garment, coming out, presenting the weapon, dry fire training. You can do all the same drills as well. You can, set up your additional mag inside the waistband, do the same drills. Depending on how you're going to utilize that weapon, you can tailor the drilling for the most effective training possible. That's dry fire training, guys. Again, thanks Steven Rigby for asking for the video. If you guys like this content, please comment down below. Let me know anything else you would like me to cover. Again, this channel is all about bringing educational value. So anything you guys want me to cover, just let me know. I'm Sean Kennard. Remember, violence is a virtue.